Hey guys, it's HMK, and here's another difference for Rob. Now let's get into it. Now Rob is one of those unorthodox characters, you know, the robot operating buddy. I'm sorry. Now let's take a look at his moveset in Brawl, even though he was pretty weird to be in Brawl to begin with. Anyways, his strong sides are pretty powerful jabs, and strong down is, you know, a leg sweep. His strong up, he basically raises his hands in the air. Whoop, whoop. And I like to state that his regular A attacks is just a 1-2 hook. Now smash side is a lot of people like to call the electro sneeze. And now his down smash is a very good combo breaker, heavy parentheses. It's able to get out, you know, heavy attacks, you know, bullying and shit. Yeah. Now his A smash up is a pretty good move. You know, just basically just turns around, makes you exhaust up in the air. Pretty good move, but it has some startup to it. Now his regular A's, his A aerial, he just basically rolls around the air. His A forward hits you with his hands. His A back, which is a pretty good back air, he just, you know, smacks you with the exhaust again. Now his A down, which has meter smash capabilities, is very good, but you have to time it right. Now let's take a look at his phasers. You know, I like to call it Seth phasers are fun, Miss Tuvsy. Yeah. As long as you stay with Rob on the field, it charges up and then you could fire it away. Now his B side has reflective capabilities. You know, he just basically just waves his arms around like, oh, like a crazy person. Now his B down, like to call it the Beyblade, even though it's called the gyro thing. Beyblade, let it rip, motherfucker. Yeah. Now his B up is his little jetpack move. Well, I like to call it jetpack, even though it's not wearing a jetpack. I understand that. You know, the name escapes me right now. But it's a pretty good recovery move. You know, it's continuous stream of flying, even though it doesn't have the anti-recovery a lot of people, you know, most of the Smash cast has, except for him, Snake, and Sonic. Ugh, broken. Anyways, look at these throws. Now his forward, back, and my favorite, the down throw, the jackhammer, or the pile driver, or whatever. Now his B up is the little tiny sideways toss, which is cool. You know, very good moveset. But Rob is very unorthodox. I just like to say that. You know, I wouldn't put him in Brawl personally. Now let's take a look at his taunts. His first taunt is, you know, he just basically lights up his eyes and, you know, intimidates. But look at this taunt. How is that even possible? Like, the cord in his back, just like, no. And Rob be divided by 0 and shit. Now the same shit. Look at this. How's the cord even like? I'm gonna have to like look at this. Anyways, so those are his taunts. All right, Yoshi, time to get out of here. Electro sneeze. 1, 2, go. Bam. All right. So that's been Rob for Brawl. Let's take a look at Project M. Now, Rob Project M has been buffed, in my opinion, you know, not with move-wise, but, you know, skin deep, his mechanics. Now, all of his moves have been slightly quickened, I'd like to say that. His regular A hook, his strong hook, strong side, which has been, you know, great, you know, very fast moves. Look at that. It's so fast. No, not even a startup. Not even a startup. What am I saying? Anyways, his down strong and his up strong are still the same moves, but still a bit quicker. Now, let's look at the electro sneeze. Even though it's not as fast as his strong counterparts, it's still a pretty fast move. Same thing with his down smash and his up smash. Take a look at that. Bam. Yeah. Very good move for, you know, I wouldn't say anti-air, but, you know, combating aerial opponents. Now all of his aerials have been quickened as well, you know, as you can see with the exhaust, regular A, the forward A, the back A, and even his, you know, meter smash. You know, you had to time it a little bit when it came to a Brawl, but not so much in Project M. Just go and bam, send your opponents down to a fiery grave. Yep. Yeah. Now his B side has been changed, but let's take a look at his phasers. It's still the same, but his B side has been changed. At first in Brawl, you're able to, you know, it lasts a little bit longer, and you could change the way, you know, Rob is spinning. But no, this just, you know, confirms you to one way of spinning forward, and it's pretty quick. You know, quicker than its counterpart at least. Now he still has the Beyblade, the little gyro top, the little, you know, top. Now instead of his B up continued recovery, he has 3 bursts of recovery, acting as what I would say, you know, like extra jumps, but you still have to press the B button to activate each one. He has up to 3, and it can be changed in any direction except down, because when you try to put down, it just activates his B down attack. Yeah. Very good versatile moveset, and it kind of balances out Rob, in my opinion. Even though he's not as broken as, you know, top tier characters, but still, he still needs some sort of balance issues. Anyways, alright, let's get this Beyblade out of here. Get out of here! Get out of here! Alright. Better not die, Luigi. Alright, his running A, even though I didn't showcase it in the last video, his running A is still the same, you know, has OTG capabilities if you're able to, you know, continue to hit and juggle and, you know, spam that stick. It's weird because R.O.B, you know, has those weirdly, you know, quick, strong attacks, you know. Some characters have quick, but not as, well, as quick as R.O.B, but not as versatile as R.O.B, in my opinion. Alright, let's take a look at his throws. His front throw, his back throw, his down throw, oh, his up throw, Jesus Christ. Now his down throw. Let's get that jackhammer going. Yep, the jackhammer. Even though a lot of people call it the power jabber, I like to call it the jackhammer. You know. Now let's take a look at R.O.B as a wave dasher. You know, it's weird because R.O.B wasn't in melee, and I would just think to myself, how are R.O.B fared wave dashing? Well, here's the answer. It's pretty quick, but it doesn't go that much of a distance. You know, when you are a good wave dasher, not only you cover a certain amount of distance, but you're also quick at it. R.O.B is pretty quick, but not as far as I would think. Alright, let's take care of Luigi. But first, some taunts. You know, all the taunts are still the same. That weird chord thing. Yeah, it's just... I don't know what they're thinking. Alright, later Luigi. That's been R.O.B. Bam. Project and Brawl. I'll check you guys later.